All right, we all know that pets are just more than animals. They're family. And you feed them, of course, you bathe them, you take them to the vet, and in some cases, folks even get them insurance. But just like health insurance for people, it can be extremely costly. So, is it worth it? More on this. Let's bring in Emily Stewart. She's a senior correspondent for Business Insider and wrote an article on the challenges some people face with pet insurance. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So let's talk about these challenges. What are they?
Well, I think with pet insurance, it's hard to know if you're going to need it. So I think there are a couple of things for people to keep in mind that are important. Number one, they don't cover pre-existing conditions in general, pet insurance policies. So if your pet has had cancer, if it's had diabetes, if it's had stomach problems, that's not going to be covered. I talked to one person for this story who had a dog who had a history of stomach problems. She put it in when she was applying, didn't realize that would never be reimbursed. And another thing I think to remember is that pet insurance gets more expensive as your pet gets older. So if you have a young, healthy puppy, it might be a really good idea to insure that puppy because it's going to be $25 a month. God forbid something happens, puppy eats a toy, you're covered. If you have a 10-year-old dog, it can be a little bit more complicated. Those premiums might be $150, $200, $300 a month. And that's where it can be a little bit harder to decide if that's money that you can spend and that you want to spend.
And I think, what a lot of people who maybe don't have pet insurance may not know is in many cases, what you do is you have to pay up front and then you submit to get it reimbursed. And so if you suddenly find out that, this particular situation is not covered, you've already paid for it. You know what I mean? But I want to ask you about this idea of pre-existing conditions, because unlike humans, some breeds are more prone to certain conditions, right? Some
of them have congenital issues.
You already know that pugs are probably going to have nasal issues at some point. I think pugs. Some other breeds are more likely. There's going to be a hip dysplasia thing.
Skin issues.
Right.
Shar-Peis have skin issues.
So I'm wondering if that also complicates things when you're considering pet insurance.
It can depend on if it's documented. I talked to one woman for this story who had a dog that had some leg problems, and basically her vet told her, listen, I'm not going to put this down. You go ahead, you get pet insurance. A little bit of, insurance fraud, but if it depends really if it's documented. So if you have a pug maybe and it is not yet displaying those issues, you might be okay. And that's why they usually tell you with pet insurance, you really should, if you're going to do it, get it really right away. Don't wait, because a lot of people will wait until there's a problem. You think about, we used to do this for people, right? Not that long ago. But people wait until their dog does have an issue where maybe those hip issues show up. And then all of a sudden, have fun with your pet insurance, but we don't cover any of that. And as you said, people a lot of times don't realize that. I reached out to the American Veterinary Medical Association, and they said, listen, we like the concept of pet insurance, but you do have to be careful and really read the fine print, because people don't realize and they spend a lot of money and they don't get reimbursed sometimes.
So, Emily, I guess my question would be, when did we start to see in this country the rise of people willing to shell out a lot of money to maintain the longevity of a loved pet? It seems that, probably 30 or 40 years ago, if you had a pet and he had cancer, you spoke to a vet. Normally, while not something that anybody wants to do, you would euthanize the animal. Now it seems that people are trying to prolong the lives of their pets, and that has led to this market that's been created for insurance.
To me, I wonder if it's which came first.
Yeah, I don't know.
The chicken or the egg, right? Because as you point out, like 30 years ago, perhaps chemotherapy was not an option available to you.
For dogs and cats,
whether you could afford it or not, right? But suddenly you have these limitless options, and then in comes the insurance
Which becomes expensive, right? Because chemotherapy that is now suddenly available for pets, which maybe didn't exist, or if it did, it was, very an exorbitant thing that you would do. Now you have specialized doctors who specialize in various forms of maladies for pets. Now you have the insurance industry. So when did that happen? When did that become a thing?
I mean, it's hard to know. It really does feel like over the last 10 to 20 years, it has become a more formalized industry. I will point out, like, a small proportion of pets are insured in the United States. It's like 6 million pets. Let's say there are 80 million dogs and 60 million cats. So it's still not super popular. But you see in your own life, people spend a lot of money on their pets. I saw one estimate that people spent $150 billion with a B on their animals
Wow.
in 2023. And along with that come pet insurance and also the vet. I think for a lot of people, they show up at the vet and it's hard to know what your dog may or may not need. Fluffy ate a toy. Well, do you need to do X? Do you need to do Y? Do you need to do Z? And really, it can get quite expensive quite fast. And for pet owners who are nervous, it's hard to know what to do. And you do feel a level of, it's not just a financial calculation, it's an emotional one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so true. I mean, no one wants to say, oh, an animal who I called my family member is only worth $500 or only $1,000, right? So what are we hearing from the pet insurance industry while you were conducting this report? What did they say to you?
I mean, the pet insurance industry obviously wants you to use them, right? And what they will tell you, and what plenty of people, who have pet insurance will say is, this has been really wonderful for me. Something happened to my dog, I saved $4,000. Everybody wants to say, like, this is great. And I think, the answer is somewhere in the middle. For some people, it really is a lifesaver. And for some people, it just winds up being, either a waste of money or a situation where they wind up paying a vet bill that they really didn't think they were going to be on the hook for. One person I talked to who, a veterinarian, been in the business forever, he said, 10 years ago, I would have told you it was always a great idea to get pet insurance. He said, now with major corporations in the mix, with, all that comes with that in terms of a profit motivation, he said, I'm not saying that you shouldn't do it, but he said it's not an easy answer for me anymore.
One bit of key advice, if someone's considering pet insurance, what would you tell them to do?
I mean, I would say the earlier, the better. You want to get it for your puppy. I think really don't wait until it's too late, until your animal does have some sort of illness or injury. And I think the other thing is to really think about, and someone talked to me about this, is beyond pet insurance, you can also shop around for vets for different prices. And so if you are price sensitive and there is a problem, you don't always have to go to the first vet that you've spoken to. Ask what the cost is going to be. And that's another way beyond pet insurance to sort of think about managing your costs for your pet.
All right, Emily, and read that fine print. Emily Stewart, thank you very much. We should note that CBS News reached out to the North American Pet Health Insurance Association. In a statement, they wrote, in part, NAPHIA can't comment on why several policyholders would not be reimbursed, as each case is unique, and we have no knowledge of the specifics. For any claim to be denied for a pre-existing condition, the terms of the claim would need to match the definition of pre-existing condition as defined by the policy.